Hey, all right. Let's see if I do this again. I think I'm working. Sorry, I apologize. The lighting sucks. Yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I'll be fast because little Miss Z is ready for bed soon and I don't have a lot of time. But I wanted to follow up with everyone and let you guys know about some more stuff that I heard about Australia's apology and how it was such a big deal. Mostly because in the past, former Prime Minister had gone on this whole tangent saying that these delusions of satanic ritual abuse were... Yes. It was the same thing. Sorry. These allegations of satanic ritual abuse and ritual abuse in general were just delusional creations of the imagination of some young kids, and that they had been enhanced by shady therapists, basically, and that therapists who even offered to treat ritual abuse victims over there faced a lot of ridicule and losing certain credentials. So the fact that they acknowledged it specifically ritual abuse means that it changes everything, and that all of these claims, again, if you go and listen to Fiona Barnett's testimony, these seemingly outrageous claims that have been made, they actually are legitimately saying these things happened, and these things happened in an institutional manner. So it's huge, and that means, they basically are just corroborating and taking fault for it. So it's really, really big. The other thing that I just wanted to talk with you guys a little bit more about is just everything with Halloween. We just went through the full moon recently. I'm not sure if you guys have been feeling a lot of the tension in the air. There is a lot of black magic going on. There are a lot of covens meeting together and putting out curses and putting a lot of energy and focus on this time. So stay calm. Remember, when you're feeling a little testy, to just keep it in perspective. And really, you guys are going to do what you're going to do as far as how you celebrate and how you choose to live your life with you and your kids and the kids in your life. I would just please ask and beg, actually plead, that you take a little bit of time this season. The time frame of Sah-ween, which is the Celtic original pagan holiday for this time of year, actually runs from October 13th to October 31st, which, if you know much about Luciferians and parts of the occult, they have a lot of emphasis on reverses. So the 13th is the reverse of the 31st, obviously. And this is an entire celebration week, 2 weeks worth of rituals and magic that they are putting towards their new year, their high point of their year. So this is all going on right now. It's been going on for a while. The torturing of these children and victims is going on right now as we speak, has been since the 13th. So I just ask you, please take this seriously and understand that these things are really going on, and please just take some time in your day, daily, all the way up through Halloween, to please pray and send love, and just try and put as much intention as you can on peace for these victims, love for them, relief, if possible, escape for the hearts of those who are perpetuating these crimes, that their hearts may be softened, and that there would be divine intervention. Where 2 or more of us gather, we will always be powerful. And the more that we can get together on the same mission of just focusing our intention on not allowing this wickedness to go on, and not being blinded by the Disney cloak and mirrors that go on to make this seem like such a fun and innocent time, and it's not. And so regardless of what you choose to do with your day and how you celebrate or participate in that, is up to you, and is your thing. I just ask, please, 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 if you could at any point, there's many meditations going on, group meditations on Halloween. I know that there's one large one in particular that Divine Frequency has been posting and talking about, that's going to be going on Halloween at 11:11 a.m. and again at 11:11 p.m. East Coast time. Also, many other people in every time zone are doing the same thing. If you don't know much about 1111, it's just a divine number to help get everyone on the same page at the same time. And if you haven't looked into the power of mass meditation, and these same things happened in a negative way with 9/11, when all of our focus is on one thing, there's a lot of power in that. They were even registering it in with seismic activity. So we can do this. Again, I just ask, no matter what you choose to do, please just take some time in your day to really set aside and weep and really contemplate about the reality of what's going on, and just do what you can to figure out how you want to make this stop, because they don't have a voice for themselves. They don't have a way to speak out and make this stop right now. And the longer we wait, the more lives who are suffering. So sorry, voice gets a little shaky. It's obviously very close to my heart, and I think it upsets everybody. So, if we could just at least, I know that people don't understand how powerful prayer can be. And yes, action is absolutely required with it. Prayer or meditation or any kind of mental work that you're putting towards anything is useless if you don't have action behind it. As my grandfather has famously quoted from someone else, that knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. And Mark Passio would add that it also means you don't care, which makes it worse. So please just take some time to maybe even just look at the research, see what you really think. Just open your perspective, your awareness of these things. I know it's hard. It's something that's so ingrained in our culture, and that's something I didn't realize either until this stuff was all coming out, that we're kind of really the only country in the world that celebrates Halloween and makes it as big of a deal as we do. And they think we're kind of crazy about it, actually. So again, it's just Fiona Barnett just did another interview with Isaac Cappy, and she was talking about how this is the hardest time of year for SRA victims, and many of them people with DID, dissociative identity disorder, have a really hard time around this time of year because they get triggered by a lot of things, all of the Satanism, Luciferianism, the occult things. Come here, baby. It's okay. That are going on. Yes, I see it. Yes, I see it. I'll clean it up. That they can be triggered, and a lot of times they get programmed back into identities and alters within themselves that they're not even aware of. They're not integrated yet. So there's a lot of extra wild activity that goes on. A lot of these victims and people end up hospitalized, and just a lot of crazy things going on. So be careful. And just also, as she urged us all to be patient with other people who may act really out of line and irrational and get really sick, and what some people would term kind of crazy symptoms this time of year, because it's very difficult for them. It brings up a lot of PTSD and trauma. So keep that in mind. Also, something else I wanted to point out is, she mentions that, Halloween and the trick-or-treating, some of it may have even started because before they had more access to children in the way that they do, it was necessary for them to meet their quota of sacrifices around this time of year to actually encourage trick-or-treating and costumes. And why is it that we send all year round, we tell our kids not to talk to strangers, and then on the satanic high point of the year, we send them out to knock on people's doors and take candy and things from strangers? So it's kind of interesting. And there's some correlation between missing people, missing pets around this time of year. So be careful with your pets. Obviously, be careful with all of your loved ones, but just use discretion and love and hug on everyone in your life that you have. And it would make my heart jump so much if you could even find it within yourself to do a little research and even start talking about these things with other people, even if it's just asking them if they have heard anything about it, or did you know, and so on and so forth, because that's where we need to start. And so that's going to do it for me. I really appreciate you guys listening to my rambling and blabbering, but it means a lot to me, and my time is very short right now, but this is a time more important to me, in my opinion, than any other time of year for us to really be focusing in on this and sharing the information that we have, and really trying to save these kids and getting these psychopaths to understand that we see what they're doing and we're not going to take it anymore. You know, the stuff going on in Australia is just the first step. And I know everyone says, you know, it's just for show now. And what is it really going to accomplish? What's next? That's all later. But what they don't even understand is the major things that can change now because of the one use of that word, and discussing institutionalized abuse and talking about the specific testimony that they received about ritualistic murders and tortures in these institutions. So it is real. It is time for us to look at it. And it's time for us to just push more love into this world. Don't let this fake divide and conquer of all these stupid fake illusions. You know, saving the children should be a nonpartisan, non-race. It's just a human being issue. So if you have a kind heart, if you have your conscience still accessible to you, you know, let's do this. So again, thanks for listening. I love you guys. My master is calling. We'll talk to you later. Love you.